Alright, we got someone whose name I'm not actually sure it is. Callie something. On the Chaos Dwarves, which is Mrs. Abbott. Or Mr. Sabbat. I'm going with Mrs. Abbott. On Bretonia. Chaos Dwarves of Bretonia. Haven't put Bretonia up on the channel too much recently, because their meta's gotten kind of stale, but this was a fun game. The Chaos Dwarves don't get much love on the channel either, so we'll get some out of the way. For Bretonia, double Hippogriff Knights, King Lewin up in the sky, and then a Life Caster. Dwellers Below and Flesh of Stone is a little unique, but Earthblood and Regrowth are very typical, especially with such elite knights to protect. We have 2 Field Trebuchets, 1 Archer with Poison Arrows, and then a front line of Peasant Mobs, Grail Leak, and Men-at-Arms Pole Arms. On the other side, for the Chaos Dwarves, we have Astragoth Iron Hand, Cascading Fire Cloak, and Flaming Sword of Ruin. We have some Bull Centaur Renders with great weapons. Looks like 2 of those, 2 Hobgoblin Wolf Raider Spears, triple Infernal Guard with Fire Glaives, Hobgoblin Cutthroats, and Goblin Laborers as the front line. Lewin lands in, giving himself the Lion's Shield for a whole bunch of missile resistance, and immediately gets back into the sky, baiting a spell out of Astragoth and getting a little bit of damage out. Meanwhile, Hippogriff Knights tear out off the Hobgoblin Wolf Rider Spears on the charge. So pretty good start for Bretonia here, as the Trebuchets also harassing the poor Infernal Guard as they get into range. Bull Centaur Renders lurking. If these Hippogriff Knights overextend, the Bull Centaur Renders could pounce on them on the ground. Once again, they're just getting rid of those Hobgoblin Wolf Raiders super easily. On both sides, the Hobgoblin Wolf Raiders are taken off the map quickly by the Hippogriffs. Trebs throwing giant stones into our brave Fire Glaives. One's already below half HP. But Astragoth's going to run straight into the middle. He is walking into pole arms, but he is infantry size, so he'll be largely okay here. No Flame Storm for him, unfortunately. Just clear out a lot of peasants all at once. And the Infernal Guard Fire Glaives moving up, trying to get in range of the Trebs, I would imagine. But I think they're a little bummed the Hippogriff Knights are keeping their distance. But Astragoth is whooping on the Grail Relic right now. And in comes a bit of Fireglaive Fire onto Lewin. It's pretty tanky against such things. Flame Sword of Ruin is out to increase their missile damage and give them magic attacks. Really big volley onto Lewin. But in comes him and the Hippogriff Knights. Hippogriff Knights get a Flesh to Stone, which would normally make them very tanky. Oh, it's a regrowth, but still, that won't heal nearly as much because they're on fire right now. And a beautiful rear charge in from the Bull Centaur Renders with their great weapons. The Anti-Large and Armor Piercing doing a ton of work on the Hippogriff Knights. But the Hippogriffs are still getting their damage out that they need to, doing a lot of damage to the Infernal Guard with Fire Glaives, trying to take those guys down. And we do lose a whole Hippogriff Knight for the efforts. That is a bit of a whoopsie from Bretonia and a very good play from the Chaos Dwarves. We'll see how much it can matter on these other ones at the same time. One Hobgoblin Wolf Raider did manage to rally, and it looks like it's trying to take out the Trebuchets, but Halberds are going to peel it off, and the second Bull Centaur Render is trying to find a home for right now. Did lose a Hippogriff Knight. The one that was getting regrowth is going to shatter, so it is gone no matter what. Lewin's at half HP. This other one, 10 models out of 12, so if it can get to safety and if it can heal up, it will be fine. Flesh to Stone gives them physical resistance, plus they already have ward saves. They have 75% resistance against the attacks coming at them right now, except for Astragoth, who does magic damage. Lewin's starting to get some tear-outs coming in, and the Life Caster's even here to help out a little bit. Earthblood too. Cool. Ooh. In the back line, a Cascading Fire Cloak on the Bull Centaur Renders to give him 60 melee defense, but that still doesn't matter. I mean, these Men-at-Arms polearms are slapping the Bull Centaur Renders. They've got to get out of here. I know they wanted to shut down the field Trebs, but still, that is a brutal fight. Hobgoblin Cutthroats are getting through the Bretonian front line in several places. I mean, it was just peasants after all. And the Hippogriff Knights, down to 4 models, they definitely also overstayed their welcome. Both sides just letting their cavalry stay in the battle, while one Infernal Guard actually did manage to rally. It looks like they've been firing into the backs of those Hippogriff Knights. Though, unfortunately, their short stature and trying to fire over a hill means they are extremely limited in what they can get done. The Lewin's bodying Astragoth. The one thing to be careful of is that if Astragoth dies, a lot of this Chaos Dwarf army is just goblins. Hobgoblins, but goblins still. And Lewin is a big, spooky, terror-causing monster in the late game, so if your Lord's dead, their leadership might just be too shit to hold on. Infernal Guard's still trying to get to safety as the Bull Centaur Renders have charged back into the fight with these Hippogriff Knights. Still 4 models on them. They've stopped dying since we last checked in, but it looks like they're about to again as they're fighting on enemy support against Bull Centaur Renders. It's going to be really brutal. Loon's going all in on the Lord Snipe. Bretonnia does take a little bit of bounce power lead, though I think that is slightly fraudulent as I look around. It's not like Bretonnia has that much left besides like literally just Loon. But Astrogoth routes 500 HP. 2 more shots from Loon will kill him. Loon misses 1 attack as Bull Centaur Renders are trying to get in here and get something done. Loon gets another shot onto Astrogoth. Can he get the final blow to kill him off? He does! And without Astrogoth, the leadership for the Chaos Dwarfs is going to tank. Looks like these Infernal Guard will be the next target. Immediately terror out. And the Hippogriff Knights are also in. I am shocked they're still alive after all this. Even get an Earthblood in. Heal up those 4 models that are left. Thankfully for the Chaos Dwarfs, we have Infernal Guard with their Fire Glaives shooting in, setting these guys on fire so they don't get nearly as much healing out of that. But even the Bull Centaur Renders, I forgot if they were ITP or not. They are not, so they are also susceptible to this cycle terror routing that is coming in. Now Hobgoblin, Cutthroats, cutting the throat of this Damsel of Life, getting a lot of good damage in onto her, trying to keep this game alive for the Chaos Dwarves. As the last Chaos Dwarf Bull Centaur Renders comes charging in. Goblins routing everywhere, but so are peasants. Really, the game is down to Lewin. Can Lewin carry? Yes, no, maybe so, as he chases off Bull Centaur Renders, as is smart. This last Hippogriff Knight tries to flee the field as he gets shot in the back by a couple flaming shots. Rallies with 1 model left. As a couple more little laser bolts were coming after it, but the Damsel is routed. Bounce power gets back into the favor of the Chaos Dwarves. And I would agree. Though, I suppose, honestly, Bretonnia doesn't need the healing that much anymore. Lewin self-heals. Yeah, Lewin self-heals, and the Hippogriff Knights have 1 model left, so there's not even that much healing left for them. So whatever. She routed, who cares? If Lewin can group up with the halberds that remain and give him his leadership, he should be okay. Treb Crew was trying to get back online, but the Cutthroats found them first, and these peasants don't really stand much of a chance, immediately heading for the hills. They even shatter. And the Men-at-Arms polearms might be the next victims as well. Lewin does not want to let the Bull Centaur Renders come back, so he chased them good and far. They should go off the battlefield. They shouldn't rally, though their leadership is getting a lot better. Can the King of Bretonnia truly do this? Guerrero Lake also looks to be trying to get back towards its peasants to provide them with the melee attack buff, but also the significant leadership buffs. Does not look like the Chaos Dwarfs are keen on letting that happen. They're running down these poor peasants, jingling the bell, holding their dead Grail Knight Master. There are not enough peasants nearby to help out. Lewin in the distance is just routing off more Infernal Guard Fireglaves, that's fine. Hey, the Icon of Devotion actually got here. So these peasants will be much harder to break. Though I still think, harder to break or not, I mean, this many Hobgoblin Cutthroats closing in on all sides, they're still just going to kill you. Whether your leadership holds or not, you're just going to die. Stabby stab the peasants. Yeah, so they're just dying naturally. Anyway, Lewin lands in onto some Fireglaves. They try and use their halberds on him while these other ones are going to turn and form a firing line. Bull Centaur Renders coming out of the trees to charge Lewin. Stand your ground in the Lion's Shield. He's throwing every stat he has at this. Sword of Corona's down onto the enemy as well, so they're debuffed while he's buffed up. But the Infernal Guard are holding. Now they finally terror out. Does their route take out the Bull Centaur Renders? Nearby allies routing is a hell of a drug. And of course their lord is dead. But Lewin's actually going to take this fight onto the other Infernal Guard. Because he knows that these guys are about to break, and he just needs to get these Infernal Guard in melee so they stop shooting him all the while, but his leadership starts to dip. And, I mean, if he breaks, the game's going to just army loss, but also if he breaks, he loses that crucial healing. His leadership all of a sudden goes negative. It is too much for the King of Bretonnia to hold. He goes down. And that is GG. Very close game here. Nice job. Astrogoth did okay. Hobgoblin Cutthroats did solid. The Infernal Guard with their Fireglaves all did fantastically. Oof, and the Bull Centaur Renders also did great. So it was really the Fireglaive and Render show. Lewin and the Hippogriff Knights tried to put the game on their back. They were not able, though some of the peasant polearms did very well. Trebuchets also did nicely. GG's, lads. GG's. Roar. Subscribe, yes, yes.